So my dad's instantly mad because he was thinking some little boy was coming, and this big dude that's bigger than him shows up. So now he real mad. So my dad goes back in the thing and closes the door, and I'm like, what is this man doing? So my boyfriend at the time, he comes in the house, and I'm like, I don't know where my dad went. Just hold on a second, just so you can meet him, and then we're out. My dad comes out. He done ran back in there, put a robe on, took his clothes. I don't know what the man was doing. Some peanut butter and something on his hand, so it looked like crap was in it. Then he comes out and like shakes, like the whole little scene from Bad Boys. And I was so mortified and embarrassed. Like, is this man lost his mind? So now my dad's like 5'10". My boyfriend at that time, my first date, like I said, he was 6'7". So now my dad's like pointing at him, but he got to look up to him because he's taller. And he's like, you bring my daughter back at this time, you better not be a minute late, and I'll hunt you down. Like he's giving him all these threats, and he's just looking down at him like, yes, sir. All right. So it was mortifying, to say the least. But we had fun. We went to the movie, so I remember it. Aww. I can't forget it, unfortunately. Thanks.
So, okay, do you remember your worst date?
Oh God, I've had several. I told this story in my stream a few weeks ago. I don't even know how we got on the subject, but yeah, my worst date. I met this guy online who completely catfished me. Ooh. This is when I first moved to Atlanta. And he told me we were going to some nice upscale lounge. It ended up being a hole in the wall. I had to pay to get in. I got in there. It was this crammed up, one way in, one way out, smoke everywhere. The dude comes up to me, looks nothing like his picture. When I say catfished me, he didn't catfish like I'm this tall, but like he had somebody else whole other picture.
So what did you do?
Something was wrong with his leg. It was a lot. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be out of here. And to add insult to injury, he's like, well, could you drop me off at home? Because
no,
I got dropped off up here, and I don't have a way home.
Did you drop him off?
You know, a lot of people, especially those who don't know me,
dropped him off.
They think that I'm a really mean person, but I'm telling y'all, I'm way too nice.
You dropped this man off, Diamond,
and I took the man home.
Oh my goodness!
I took him home, and then I found out that he lived with his mother and had the audacity to invite me in once I dropped him off. I was like, sir, can you just get out my car? Close the door and get out.
Oh my goodness. So for those of you who just joined us, it is Changing Hearts with Sid. We're here every Sunday night at 9 p.m. I am Sid. This is Black Diamond, my guest in the box. Please, everybody make sure you fave her. She just told us about her worst first date. She had to drive the guy back home, and he lived with his mom. Oh, man. So, Diamond, let me ask you this. I heard you say you met him online. So did that change how you feel about online dating at all? Do you still online date? What's your take on it?
So I still online date. And the reason why I still online date is because it's more convenient for me. Mm-hmm. I just got to be honest. It's more convenient for me to online date. So I still do online dating. I just am more, and I don't even want to say cautious, but I think I'm more skilled. So I know now the questions to ask. We need to do some FaceTiming. I'm not just going to blindly come meet you. Right. Like technology's evolved more. Exactly. So I know the do's and don'ts with online dating now. That back then it wasn't, I wasn't doing it right.
So you had questions to ask. What kind of questions do you ask?
Oh, listen, I'm what's that movie with freaking Kevin Hart? With the book Steve Harvey wrote. Like I'm asking all these questions, like what you got going on? What's your long-term, short term? You want children? You don't want children? Do you have goals, aspirations? What you trying to do? Do you live with your mama? And don't tell me your mama live with you. who paid a mortgage? I don't live with my mama, she live with me, but who paid a mortgage? That's what we need to know. Do you have a mortgage?
Who
You know,
name on the house? That's what I want to know.
the important questions now that I need to know before I start fooling around with people. You know what I'm saying?
So what are your non-negotiables?
I will not date somebody that smokes cigarettes. It's
Okay.
an absolute hard no for me. I'm not going to date somebody that does not have children and want children because I'm not having any more. That's a hard no for me.
Okay.
I'm not dating anybody who doesn't have the same beliefs I have spiritually. Hard no. I don't have time to convert you. I'm not about to be whatever it is you are. So we don't got to waste no time doing that. So I got a few little hard no's. I got a few of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, has there been anybody who you were just like, oh man, it was him, but then he hit you with a hard no?
No.
Okay, so you haven't met him yet.
Mm-mm.
Now, you have anybody that got away, anybody that you messed up, or you're like, man, I give it a second shot?
No.
Oh,
Because I've had some guys that were really nice guys, but they weren't for me. And sometimes people get stuck in that they just want somebody. I've never been that girl. I've never been with a man or felt like I always have to have a man because I don't want to be by myself. So because you're a good guy, I don't feel like you got away. You were a good guy and you still are, but you weren't for me.
Right.
So I don't feel like that about anybody.
Was there a relationship or a situation that changed your outlook on dating?
I don't want to say that it changed my outlook on dating because I feel like every situation that I've been in, good and bad, when it comes to dating, there was something that I had to learn from that situation for me to even get to my next level. So I don't use regrets or anything like that because I feel like everything good, bad, and different, I had to go through it. I had to pull something out of it. So I feel from every relationship that I've been in, even the ones that went super south, there's something that has elevated me now in like my next relationships to look for. So I don't think that.
Okay, so everybody who just joined us, this is Changing Hearts with Sid. We're here every Sunday at 9 p.m. I'm Sid. This is Black Diamond. Please make sure you fave my top 3 gifters of the stream. Please make sure you fave Black Diamond. First of all, her stream is hella dope. I go there all the time. So please make sure you check her out. But we'll be here every Sunday, 9 p.m. And Diamond just told us that she uses every relationship she's been in to learn something. But what I want to know, Diamond, is what was the biggest lesson that you learned?
The biggest lesson that I think I've learned to date is to let go when I know that it's over. Because with my daughter's father, that was the hardest relationship that I had when it was over. And because there was a child involved, in my mind, I kept trying to tell myself that I need to make this work. I need to have a family structure because I never wanted to be a single mother. I always wanted the family structure because I didn't have it. So it's like, even though that I knew it was over, even though I knew it wasn't good for me, even though I knew it was something I should have been out of, I kept trying to hold on, and it just damaged me further. Every instance, I kept getting damaged and more damage and more damage. Had I let go initially when I should have, I think it would have saved me. I would have had a lot shorter healing period. I'll say that. Okay. So after him, I was single for 5 years, and I don't mean just but I was just like, I was damaged and broken and hurt and just all messed up for 5 years when I could have alleviated a lot of that time if I didn't stay in a dead situation.
Now were y'all?
No.
So y'all.
No, it wasn't on and off. We were on, and then we were off. We were off, but we have a child, so we still had to see each other. We still were connected, and I was still like, let's fix it, let's fix it, let's fix it, let's work on it, let's do like you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
and it was just too much. Like I did the damage to myself.
Mhm. I just no idea how to fix the echo. Can you hear the echo?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's the app though.
I know it's an app, but it's
So
okay.
if when you talk, if after you talk, if you mute, I think it helps it. That's what I've been seeing people do.
So I need to let's see.
After you ask your question.
I know I don't think you is because I don't use you. Okay. So see this as throw me off. You know, say something like this and throw me all the way off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my question is, you said you want to comment how long were y'all together?
2 years, like together in the same vicinity under the same roof. 2 years, and then we were separated, but still kind of dealing more than we should have been for like another year, and then it was done. So like I guess total of like 3 years.
Okay. Try to see what happens. Can y'all hear me? Oh, okay. So I have to mute Diamond. Then the echo stops. There we go. All right. So was there, besides your daughter's father, was there another relationship that taught you some monumental lessons?
So after my daughter's father, I got into another relationship. Um, that again, I knew I shouldn't have gotten in, but I did it anyways. And in that relationship, though I actually did love him, there was love involved, and he was my best relationship at that time to date. I never fully let my guard down with him because I was always expecting him to leave.
Mhm.
And because of that, you guys know I'm really big on manifestation. I believe in manifestation. I think part of it was me. I think I kind of manifested it because it's what I believed. I said it a lot, and he felt it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like inevitable that he did eventually leave. But what I learned from my relationship with him was um, I was starting to again change who I was to fit into what he wanted me to be. And so the biggest lesson I learned once that was over is that I can never, ever, ever, I don't care what relationship I enter, I'm never going to change or alter who I am, what I do, how I dress, what I believe to try to fit into the box of these women that these men want you to be when you get in these relationships with them. Because what happens is every single time I do that, when it's over, I kick myself because I'm like, I wasn't even my authentic self because I either dumb myself down or I put myself in a box that wasn't me to appease a man that ain't gonna stay here no damn way.
Exactly.
So why do that? Like that was my biggest lesson. And going forward, I'm never gonna do that again. This is who I am. This is how I am. You're gonna have to take this or roll out.
So let me ask you this. And I know that you're not currently looking for a relationship, but what characteristics does the ideal relationship has for you?
But I don't think there's an ideal relationship, to be honest. I don't think there's an ideal relationship. I think that everybody has a person.
Mhm.
And I think that at some point you find your person. And when you find your person, you're going to go through the ups and downs of what a relationship is. And so I think when you start saying, I want somebody who's loyal, and I want somebody who does this, and I want somebody who does that, and then in your mind, that's your ideal relationship. And then you don't never find a person that checks off all these boxes that you created. So then what you got left? Nothing. Because you created something and somebody that does not exist. So I think you meet a person and you find out this is my person just by how the relationship forms naturally and organically. And that's how you move and that's how you flow. So it's not our idea. I don't have an idea. of this is what I want you to do anymore, because I used to do that. I used to be shallow. I used to want you to be this way, this height, this length, make this kind of money, drive this kind of car, live like I had all these, and it's unrealistic. And you're putting unrealistic expectations on a person that you probably won't put on you. Because a lot of us have these ideas that we ourselves aren't even living up to or upholding.
Exactly.
So I don't have an ideal relationship. I give everybody, scratch that. I give somebody I'm interested in an opportunity, and then I see how I work.
Okay.
It work, it don't work, then you ain't my person. That's it.
So what is it?
Gotta mute me.
I'm trying. Here we go. What advice would you give your daughter as she starts her adventures in dating?
So the number one thing now that I talk to my daughter about, because she's 13 and they're all these kids, they growing up way fast and they already think they love boys and all kind of foolish stuff. So the one thing that I try to instill in her above all else, with whatever you got going on, relationships down the line, these little boys, even now that y'all think y'all so in love with, respect. Respect is my number one thing. Do not let anybody disrespect you or devalue you. You know right from wrong. You know what you should and shouldn't be doing. You know what I've instilled in you and taught you as a young lady. So do not, under any circumstances, be disrespected. So that's the number one thing that I try to get her to understand, because I think a lot of women, if they just knew their superpowers, if they just knew what you're worthy of, and the number one thing that I see happen to so many women is they are disrespected. And I think that's because you may have never been told. I don't know what your mother's instilled in you, but if somebody said to you 1,000,000 times that respect is the number one thing that you should require out of anybody, and especially a man, the way that a lot of things go in dating, I think it will be completely different, because you could fall for anything if you don't stand for something. Respect.
So who do you go to for your relationship advice? Or do you have a person that you go to for your relationship advice?
So here's the thing, right? Out of my peer group and the people around me, nobody's in no great relationships. So they can't really give me relationship advice. And I tell my friends the same thing. They call me with their problems. I'll listen and tell them what I think about it, but I'm not a relationship guru. I'm almost never in a relationship. So who am I to tell you about your relationship and how it need to run? I ain't never in one. I'm just out here doing what I do when I do how I want to do it. Right. So don't listen to me. But here go my 2 cents, and this what sounds good. So I don't take relationship advice from people, and I really don't give it often either. I'll throw in, like I said, my little 2 cents, but I don't have a person to be like, oh my God, this is great relationship advice. My great grandmother, who will be 101 next month, her and my grandfather were married for like 60 years or 70 years, right? And she tried to give me relationship advice when I was with my daughter's father. And what my grandmother said to me when I broke it off with him and I put him out, she's like, I heard you and Madison's dad are separated and you put him out. I said, I did. She said, well, why did you do that? I said, because he keep cheating on me. She said, well, let me ask you a question. She said, did he put his hands on you? And I was like, no. She said, did he pay bills? I said, yeah, he paid bills. She said, do we got a gambling problem? I'm like, no, Grandma, he don't. She said, so the only thing he did wrong was he cheated on you. And I'm like, what do you mean the only thing? That's major. My grandma said, let me tell you something. All men folks, the same kin folks. So you gonna go out there and you gonna get another one. And guess what? He gonna cheat on you and he might put his hands on you. Or he gonna cheat on you and he might not want to pay no bills. or he might cheat on you when he got a gambling problem. You understand what I'm saying? So this is my grandmother, my great grandmother, who was married for X amount of years. This is her advice to me. But guess what? She right. Now, in my experience thus far, she was right, but I still can't take that. I can't take it. So I gotta do what worked for me, which is do my own thing. So I don't take nobody advice. Leroy, shut.
I'm not clicking on the comments. I'm not going to see what he said. Wait, so your grandmother said all men folk are the same kinfolk. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Everybody, this is Changing Hearts with Sid. We're here every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. This is Black Diamond in the Box. Please fade my top 3 gifters of the string. Please fade Black Diamond. Diamond, thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you could do me a favor and X yourself out the box, because I sure enough ended my stream about 2 weeks ago like a whole amateur. Thank you so much. I wanted to tell everybody thank you for joining me this evening. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. It's not my fault. Shout out to POF, but y'all need to get it together. But we're here each and every Sunday. Those of you who are just joining us, I have my comments turned off, but my bouncers are hopefully greeting everybody. And thank you guys so much for joining us. We have another fabulous guest this evening, Mr. Gang Gang. Hello, friend.
Man,
Where are you?
in New Orleans.
Okay.
But I told you I wasn't available, but I guess you didn't believe me. But I ain't want to let you down, so I'm here.
I did tell me, like for real,
I
for real.
did.
I sent you the flyer. You didn't say nothing.
I ain't see it. And then I don't really run my Instagram. But anyway,
Okay.
that's neither here nor there.
So
But I didn't know this was gonna be this type of show. Woo, this is juicy.
I know, right? You got your popcorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you ready? You ready? Okay. So the question I ask everybody: are you looking for love? Have you lost it? Have you found it? What do you think about it?
All right. So hopefully my background not too loud, but you can speak up for me a little bit. But what you say?
I said, are you looking for love? Have you lost it? Have you found it? Or is it on?
I am ready for love.
So karaoke.
Why are you hiding? Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Ready for it. So, we're on this dating app. What do you think about online dating?
Online,
Dating. How do you
online dating. Online dating is it's like bobbing for apples. You can't really see what's on the bottom of the apple until you bite it. You know what I'm saying? And then when you bite it, bring it out of the water, the bottom of it is rotten. So it'd be in your best business to put it back in the water. So I suggest you go bobbing for watermelons because you can see more of the circumference. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about long distance relationships?
Ooh, long distance? No, baby, no.
Why not?
So all right. So let me stop playing, man. Y'all know. So I'm in New Orleans having a good time. We lost today, but all right. So I see this is like serious. We trying to do this. We trying to do this. All right. So long distance relationships for me, right? I can't hear you. Hold on. Hold on.
Who did you lose to?
Hold on. Back to me. Back to me. Back to me. Back to me in the studio. Back to me. Alright, so like long distance relationships for me, y'all don't work simply because, I'm just at a different place mentally where so a little bit background. A lot of people know what I do. I'm a therapist in regards to relationships, stuff like that. So it's hard not to bring my profession to my dating life. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm talking to people about love languages and things of that nature on a daily basis, and it's hard for me not to practice what I preach. So like long distance don't work for me for the simple fact that I understand that my love language is physical touch, right? Understand? So I can't get that, and that becomes a problem for me.
So I heard you say you lost to the Falcons today.
You breaking up? It might be the app. It might you just have a problem when she was in the box. It's okay if you mute yourself.
So
Sometimes
look,
it's best to mute yourself. It's best.
I just thought I heard you say that. But what are your non-negotiables?
Okay, so now I heard her. I will not disclose my non-negotiables. For the simple fact of honestly, when it comes to my interaction with a woman, right? And I said I share the same thing from a perspective standpoint. Is I'm supposed to be a mystery to you, right? My non-negotiable shouldn't be disclosed to you. You dig what I'm saying? Because I'm out here looking for someone that's compatible, right? And if I give you my non-negotiable, I give you the answers to the test. Here's the representative, right? Here's the person pretending to be what I want them to be. You dig what I'm saying? Here's the person pretending to do this, to do that, and then when it's too late for me to realize that we're not compatible, you've already manipulated me. Yeah, and I can't be manipulated anymore.
Okay, I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. So, do you have a list of what you're looking for in a woman?
Okay, so not a list. So that's a good question, right? And I heard Diamond's answer to that question. So it's not necessarily a list, right? So from a standpoint of understanding, the biggest issue or the biggest disconnect that we have when it comes to courting someone, I don't believe in dating, right? Dating was like understand dating was a chain of events created by my species, which is the mankind to waste your time, right? You like dating is kind of like renting. You see what I'm saying? Like, Sid, you was never meant to be rented,
Right.
right? Because we are rent to anyone in an alternative view, right? We're rent to anyone who can afford it, right? But a lease purchase has to be qualified. You see what I'm saying? If I have a rental property, I want it to be lease purchase, and you're gonna take care of it because guess what? You plan for this to be yours. You see what I'm saying? But the people that have rented my property, they don't take care of my property because they rent it, they do whatever they do, and then they move, and they just let me keep the security deposit. You see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to that, I believe the biggest disconnect is that we don't have a vision for the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think to kind of piggyback off what Black Diamond was saying, was like she thought that hey, her list was this guy should be this guy should be that, he should have this, he should have that. I don't no. My vision is not for the person. My vision is for the relationship. Because her being a woman of God, understand that God said, write it down and make it plain. You dig what I'm saying? So my vision is for the relationship, right? I have to know what it takes to date me. What brings me joy in the relationship, right? So I want my relationship to be I want to communicate like this. I want to be touched like this. I want to be able to do this and do that, right? So then I get out with the people and I wait on a person to align with the vision for the relationship. That way I can say no to good options out here, right? There's a lot of good women in the world. All women are wives. I can say no to the good options because guess what? She doesn't align with my vision for my relationship. Because if you don't have a vision for the relationship, you'll settle for anything. I'm saying it, bro.
This is Changing Hearts and Said. This is Mr. Gang Gang in the Box. Please save him. Please save me. Please save my top three gifters of the night. Every day, 9 p.m. Mr. Gang Gang, let me ask you this. Do you have a relationship that brought about this wisdom that you have? Or have you always had this view?
Well, no, it's after it's. I mean, it's more so. So it's for one, it's after a failure. I've been divorced, right? So it's after a failure, of course. But more so, just the thing is, everybody say this is the thing, right? Everybody say you live and you learn. That's what everybody say. But from my studies, that's the excuse to live reckless. Because I will give you the whole statement. You live and you learn about pain. We know pain no too well because the Bible wants us to turn that around and learn and then live, right? So if I learn about love and then live, I will limit my mistakes. So it's just for me taking a step back of whatever we call this, that, and the third, dating or whatever. No, and look at this person in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? I have to figure out what it takes to please that person and bring that person joy. I have to learn that first. Because guess what? You have so many people that say nobody's perfect, right? But we also talk about manifestation. Because you got to understand what you believe alters your behavior. Your behavior determines your reality. That's called perspective. Because the definition of believe is the acceptance of truth. So whatever you believe, you already accept this to be true. You see what I'm saying? So if I take a step back and get to know that person in the mirror and believe that that person deserves this, that, and the third, and deserves somebody that's going to treat that person and love that person the way God loves me, I learn that first. Because if I don't learn that, I could never require it from another person. Because we always allow people to treat us the way we feel about us. You see what I'm saying? So if I can't see the perfection within myself, I can never require it from another person. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. It starts with me looking at this person I'm looking at right now, and I know that that person right there ain't gonna never let me down as long as I'm doing what I'm doing in the world to keep that person full of joy. And that'll stop me from compromising myself for other people because that person's first.
So you find that if you find,
I'm sorry?
I said, have you found that how do you what aspects
Let me put my other one in because I can't hear you. You got to speak up, mama.
I'm speaking up, you can hear me?
I want to hear it too.
So I'm asking, what have you, where do you go or what avenues do you look to make sure the person that you're looking at follows those same values?
So it starts with, like I said, it starts with so the definition of compatibility, y'all, is the state where two things can exist without issues and problems. That's the actual definition. You see what I'm saying? Now notice it didn't say disagreements. We gonna have disagreements, but if we truly compatible, this disagreement won't become an issue or a problem. So where does it start? It start with me talking to this person in the mirror. You see what I'm saying? Because if somebody is truly compatible with me, it's gonna happen organically. You see what I'm saying? Because opposites attract, but your similarities will keep you together. That's called equally yoked compatibility. You see what I'm saying? And this is the problem. We compromise ourselves for the sake of other people. Watch, let me give you an example. I could be a bird, right? Because I fly high. You see what I'm saying? But if I'm attracted to a fish, I could never live in that world. I don't care how attracted I am to that fish. I don't care how good that fish look. I don't care how much money that fish make. I don't care about nothing. I could never live. But guess what? We try to live in that world. But for how long until we die? Because in order for this bird to live in that world, I gotta grow gills. So in relationships, one person or the other is always having to conform to the other person. Either I gotta grow gills or you gotta grow wings. So no. It takes me to back and realize that I'm a bird. You know what I'm saying? And I deserve somebody that can fly on the same level as me. And she deserves somebody that can swim with her. That's a big difference. Because there's somebody out here that's gonna swim with you, and there's somebody out here that's gonna fly with me. You know what I'm saying?
So what advice would you give your son?
My son? Yeah.
What advice would you give him?
My advice that I tell my son is 13. I tell my son all the time, for one, be patient, right? Because your job is to pursue, but don't pick. It's a big difference.
Okay, explain that difference.
I will pursue you, but guess what? The thing is, like men, we out here picking something. This is how we treat God, right? We say, God, I found her. She looked good. Now bless it. No. I'm supposed to pursue her because he also told me to seek his will in everything that I do, and he'll show me the path to take. So I found her. She's everything that I think I like, that I think I want, right? But then I'm gonna pursue her, but then I gotta go talk to who I'm supposed to go talk to, right? And in the process of me pursuing, I gotta be patient first. I gotta be patient and assess compatibility for myself. You know what I'm saying? Does she align with the vision that I have for my relationship? You see what I'm saying? Throughout my consistent and persistent pursuit. You see what I'm saying? Because if I realize that she don't, I then respectfully can put her back. But that means that I haven't crossed that boundaries of taking her body first. That's the most important part, because guess what? I tell my sons all the time, you heard, hey man, it's time to tie the knot, right? Soul ties, tie the knot. Same thing. Marriage consummates, sex consummates marriage. So I tell my sons, don't have sex unless you're ready for God to tie that knot and marry that woman. But that goes the same thing for both of us.
Soul ties. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Huh?
Some people don't know what a soul tie is. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I bet. So a soul tie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm one with God, you're one with God, right? So when it comes to marriage, right? Understanding marriage is not the ceremony, guys. God don't get no glory from your dress and the reception and all that. The ceremony and stuff comes from understanding that God said, obey the laws of the land, right? So the ceremony and stuff like that should be a celebration for what I've already done for you in the eyes of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? Which the Bible says when 2 or 3 come together in his name, there is in the midst. So guess what, Sid? If I want to court you properly and take you before God, all I'm doing at that time, the engagement, is to tell God that I want to get it right with him. You see what I'm saying? And we do that. You see what I'm saying? But at that time, the thing about being celibate, celibacy is not wait 8-9 years to have sex. That's not what that is. Celibacy is a sacrificial vow of your flesh over to God until you're ready to marry this person. Because guess what? God ain't telling you who to marry. He allows us to operate in our own discretion. You are actually telling God who you want to marry. You see what I'm saying? So when you let a guy enter you, you're subconsciously telling God, this is the man I want to marry. So he ties that knot. You see what I'm saying? That's why when you're really forcing God to say yes to somebody that you're not really saying yes to, that's why it's so hard to come apart. Soul ties, because God has already tied that knot. I thought you said yes. You see what I'm saying? So if we do a little bit, if we back up, be a little bit more patient, and start assessing compatibility and making sure that we're right with between me, you, and him before we tie that knot, things will be different. Things will be different. Like they say, that's why your bedroom is not defiled. All these sins in the world, but you can't sin in your bedroom, because the bedroom is where you're supposed to do your best worship.
I think I'm like, oh. So look, okay. So background real quick though. So can you remember your first date?
My first date,
Date ever?
no, I can't. I started. I don't know. I started real late. You know what I'm saying? My life was a little rougher growing up. You know what I'm saying? Homelessness and stuff like that. So I can't. I really can't. I was too busy trying to come about the slums. You know what I'm saying? I was homeless at 17, and I can't really remember. I can't.
Okay. And what about your worst date?
My worst one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I just try to make the best out of everything. You hear me? So my worst date, I probably made it funny. I don't know. Okay, yeah. So I guess I don't know. I don't know. I don't keep a list of those type of stuff. When something happened, I kind of throw it away. But if I had to say something, it was like, I met a young lady who I was talking to for a little while, and then she invited me out. She called me out the blue. She's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want you to meet my sister. And I was like, I bet I'll meet your sister. I'm at the gym, but after the gym, I'll meet you. And then I had to meet her at the Cheesecake Factory. Then I got to the Cheesecake Factory. Her and her sister was already there, and they was already halfway through the meals and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, this is different, but whatever. Let me get a Coke. I got a Coke, and that was it. And then the bill came to me. The bill was like $3.25. Like, whoa, wait, hold on. Like, hold on, pimp. Hey, flag on the plate. Time out. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, watch. On God, not granted, watch. I had the bill. I was gonna pay. I was gonna cover the bill because I don't mind. I was gonna cover the bill, but however, I'm a communicator, right? I leaned over and I asked this young lady, like, yo, like, what's the plan here? She got offended. She got upset. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And so I'm like, oh, you ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I bet. So I covered the bill, and I remember her sister, they packed up and they left, right? And then she said, I gotta go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom and I felt something was off. But I saw her try to go out the exit. I said, oh, she was gonna leave me. You know what I'm saying? So, but she couldn't catch her sister. She had to come back in. So she went down. I said, oh, you was gonna leave me. You know what I'm saying? No, I was just gonna tell my sister about it. I bet, no problem, whatever. So I had already planned the evening for us to go after. So I was like, all right, whatever. That I don't dwell on nothing. Like my life, I went through so much growing up. Like y'all see, I don't dwell on nothing. I'm always whatever. So let's go enjoy ourselves. That's water under the bridge at this point. So we get in the car, and I mean, like I'm in the car. She's like sitting, like she was one with the window. Like
They did.
yeah, like man, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, yo, you alright? And so she had a whole attitude, and I don't do great with attitude. You know what I'm saying? I don't like being at odds with nobody, right? So she was like, you made me look bad in front of my sister, da da da. And you know, we kind of got into a verbal dispute, and she was like, yo, let me out. Man, listen. If you request for me to let you out, baby girl, listen. I'm not finna hold you against your will.
You just let her out.
We was on the highway and everything. So you just gonna let me out, baby girl, listen. You know what I'm saying? She got out, and so soon as she got out, and she was still wah. Let me tell y'all something in case y'all don't know something
Wait.
Hold on. Let me tell you something about gravity, right? Newton law states that an object at rest will remain at rest until another object act upon it. So if my door is open, right, and you screaming and yelling, and I hit the gas, the wind is gonna act upon that door that's at rest, and then it's gonna close it. You dig what I'm saying? And so, you know, at that point, I just kind of kept it pushing.
So was she outside the car, or inside the car,
She's outside the car.
on the highway?
Yeah. But I'm gonna show you how God works. I promise you, I could not make this story up on my kids. Probably about 10 minutes later, boom, it started raining. I said, God, don't like you can't do wrong to a child of God, baby. You can't do wrong.
You turn around and go get her?
No.
So you left her in the rain on the highway?
That was God's will.
Oh my God.
You can't listen. You cannot do wrong to a child of God, babe. I'm trying to tell you. The Bible said, let them fight your battle. So at that time, I said, God, you know, I hope you provide a covering for her because that ain't my job. You know what I mean? Because granted, this is how I am with arguments, right? And this what for everybody. I'm gonna play a part in the reality that I want to see. So if I go back and put myself back in that situation to argue with you, I'm putting myself in a situation for that situation to escalate. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I'm stuck in the rain.
I mean, she had braids, so you know, she had braids, so the yaki was gonna be all right.
Oh my goodness. All right. So did you talk to her again after that though?
No.
So you don't even know if she made it home.
I'm not her Lord and Savior.
Oh.
And rain is a sense of cleansing. Thank you. I like how she did it. But no, I don't. So I don't look backwards, y'all. I have never been off and on with a person. I don't look backwards. I really don't. Okay. And honestly, we not supposed to
have one that got away.
No.
But everybody's just done. After you're done.
I'm done. For one, the thing about me, I'm such a communicator, y'all, man. I hit the negative before it hit me and all that. So this is the thing. And I tell everybody the same thing. I don't go through phones. I don't look and see if you're cheating. I don't look to see who you're talking to. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It don't bother me. You feel me? Like, I think a bigger disconnect when it comes to men. When you meet a woman, you expect you to be the only dude she's talking to. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? You can let her lie, but she's lying. You know what I'm saying? There's some guy pursuing her or somebody knocking. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, I can't concern myself with that at all. I try my best to play my position to the best of my ability. You know what I'm saying? And if anything that you got going on other than that, it will come out eventually. Because guess what? I don't mind being oblivious to whatever's going on in the situation. Some people might call it naive if you want to, but guess what? I'm not gonna sabotage my happiness, because by doing so, the faith that I have in the Lord that protects me will allow me to exit this relationship peacefully without me getting hurt by finding out that you're doing this, that, and the third. You see what I'm saying? That's the biggest difference for me. So, like, listen, I don't care about none of that. I'm gonna continue to do what I do. So, because I operate like that, if something happened or something, or I find out something, or you do something, or you make a decision like that, then guess what? Peacefully, I can say that I'm good on that. Because guess what? Because when we don't, think about this, and from a woman's standpoint, when you know that you played a role in the frustration, when you know you may have played a role, you start to second guessing yourself. You know what I'm saying? You start to think like maybe, you know what I'm saying? And then you give somebody another chance, that you hold on to something that you wasn't supposed to be holding on. So now that season that was supposed to end is now a cycle. No, baby. Hey, when the season is over, I'm yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Oh man. Okay, so let me ask you this. This is something my dad said. My dad would say, "You are single."
Say it again.
You are single until you're married. What do you think about that statement?
Well, that's an old school saying, but at the same time, to a certain extent, right? Because granted, you got to understand, you are single until you decide. I say you decide. Well, no, you allow. I'm single until I decide. Understand? There's a difference. So, ladies and men, we got two different roles here, right? You was told to wait, but don't wait. I was told to pursue, but don't pick, right? So you are single until you allow yourself to be courted, right? Which means that man of God, that Boaz that God has for you, he's gonna come different, and you will know that. You see what I'm saying? So if the man if he ain't coming at you with that verbiage, you still single. You see what I'm saying? Verbiage followed by action, right? I am single until I decide to court you. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest difference. Because when you decide to court somebody, you're putting God in the midst of that. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest difference. So now, so I have a chapter in my book that's entitled "Just Ask Her to Marry You." Yeah, book plug. But so it's a chapter, right? It says "Just ask her to marry you." Because let me ask you a question. Because I know you asking a question. Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a girlfriend and a fiance?
A ring.
Nothing. People got all type of promise rings and nothing, right? The only difference in a lot of cases is the mentality.
Right.
Because men will lie to you, cheat to you, and cheat on you and all this stuff until he quote unquote feel like, all right, I'm ready now. Now let me propose to you. But why? This is the thing. If more men had the aspirations of like a woman's feelings above its own, it would be different. Because at that time, I could then meet you today. Because watch. Let me tell you, I'm gonna change your life. I can meet you today. If I met you today and I said, hey, marry me, what would you say? You would say, no, are you crazy? What is wrong with you? This dude is weird. Why? Because that should be the norm. Because just because I'm telling you, I'm asking you to marry me, don't mean you're supposed to marry me today.
Right.
That don't mean it's gonna happen tomorrow or within the next year or anything like that, right?
Exactly.
What I'm saying by that point, I'm telling you that guess what? My mindset is that's the goal. You see what I'm saying? And so however long what's the rule that say how long we supposed to be engaged? There's no rule.
Go on.
There's no rule, right? Okay. So when we get engaged, what obligates us to get married? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I will respect you more if I came with my pursuit and you said, hey, marry me. And he be like, girl, no. He ain't ready for you mentally. If I met you there and I told you and I came with my game or whatever you want to call it, and I tried to talk to you, you said marry me, right? I'm gonna tell you that's the goal. It's a mindset, because at that time I'm telling you that I'm in a position I'm ready to court you, and you telling me you're ready to be courted. You see what I'm saying? So that way we working on getting married, not working on getting engaged. it's a difference. It's a difference. It's a difference on what car you getting into. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who you want to ride with? You want to ride with that guy that's going to lead you to the altar, or ride with that guy that's going to lead you to the bedroom?
Mm.
It's a matter of perspective.
So you're the type of guy that's leading somebody to the altar.
I can't hear you. Say it again.
You leading somebody to the altar.
Absolutely. Back to you. See it in the studio.
So everybody, this has been Changing Hearts with Sid. We are here every Sunday, 9 p.m. This is our guest, Mr. Gang Gang. Mr. Gang Gang, I'm gonna ask you to come back on Wednesday or less and get everything together.
Okay.
Yes. So I love our conversation. And I just thought of like 4 more questions, but
No, come on. Your show, you don't have to end your show. So what happens is, for one, you got another 15 minutes,
oh,
right?
I know. I do.
Yeah. So you good. That's right. I'm good.
You good? You
That's
good?
right.
I want to know more about you though. You ready?
Okay. What's
Okay.
up?
First girlfriend, what was she like?
So, all right. So there's a difference, right? So there's all right. So there's a difference, right? Ladies, stop asking those questions because it don't matter who I was yesterday. It matters who I am today. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It don't even matter. For one, you got to understand as a woman out here, you're not waiting on God, right? I mean, you're not waiting on a man.
Right.
You're waiting on God to finish His work in him.
Right.
So who I was with my first girlfriend don't matter to you because I was a different man before God and all that. You know what I'm saying? But who I am now is what I want you to concern yourself with. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? My first girlfriend at 19, I didn't know what a boyfriend meant. I didn't know what a husband was. I didn't know what a relationship was. I didn't know what, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even know that that information would do more damage now than it would help. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. That was great. So look,
What kind of what?
what kind of questions do you ask women when you're first interested in them?
I asked one question.
Okay.
How's your relationship with God?
Go on.
Two can't walk together, they don't agree on their destination. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Then after that, I let everything happen organically. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I've been told that, oh, you don't ask me no questions. Listen, you don't understand, baby. As a man, I can pursue you two ways.
Okay.
I can pursue you objectively or subjectively. Objectively means without personal feelings. Subjectively means with personal feelings, right? So I'm pursuing you like a subject in school, which means that I don't have to ask you questions, mama. I gotta observe you. I gotta learn how to treat you. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at your mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, hey, I want to take a love language test. I'm concerned with you. I want to know what your languages are. I also want to know what your apology languages are. I want to learn these things because you know what I'm saying? Because the more questions I ask, watch. The more questions I ask, and the more answers you give me. What you're doing now is you're actually putting me in a position to teach me behaviors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And learn behaviors don't last long.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Versus the things that I pick up on my own, which are personality traits.
Mm-hmm.
Personality traits become a part of who I am. So let me give an example. I don't have to ask you if you like your car door open. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to ask you that. Because if I ask you that, you say, I love that. I'm going to do that. So now I'm learning the behavior. But watch. If I don't ask you that and we go on a date and I don't do it, and if I'm really paying attention to your mannerisms, stuff like that, I said, damn, I dropped the ball. She kind of like that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And now I have a decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
Either I could just ignore it or I can change that. You know what I'm saying? But granted, that's why you're not supposed to tell me, because if you don't tell me that and I don't do it, you make a mental note. Don't get mad, but you just make a mental note because you, guess what? You observing me too. But then you also feel good about the change that I made because the next time he opened that car door and the next time he pulled out that chair, you know what I'm saying? But wait, if he'd never do that, you say, okay, this ain't, no, fella, this ain't the fella for me. Because guess what? he don't align with your vision for a relationship. You have a vision for a man that's pulling out your chair and open your car door. I'm sorry, fella, you don't do that, and that's okay. And guess what? I'm not here to raise you, boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to teach you how to treat me. No. There's a man out here that God has already put with the tools to do that.
So what's your perspective on the age differences between relationships? So like, is there a too old or a too young?
Well, I don't date nobody younger than my baby sister, so that's kind of my thing. And that's kind of how I look at that. But as far as like age is concerned, I'm more so like up here. You know what I mean? But still, I feel like there's a 15 or maybe 15 might be my cap off. You know what I mean? But it really just depends. I don't put any kind of real stipulations on it, but it really depends. I can say that I'm not going to pursue nobody 20 years older than me. Or I'm not going to pursue somebody 15 years younger than me. You know, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you see? Because you say you're purpose, right?
Yes.
What would you agree that communication issue that couples have, or do you think it's expectation?
Nope. Everybody say the number one problem in relationships is communication. That is false.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody communicates. Me yelling at you is communicating. Me telling you how I feel is communicating. You telling me how you feel is communicating. But guess what? Effective communication is the problem. Because the only thing that makes effective communication effective is clarification. Because all you want to do is tell me how you feel. And what I see on an everyday basis is people want me to help them change this other person. When if you realize that, guess what, you're the problem, you also realize you're the solution. So if we communicate effectively and seek out clarification and be receptive, now we communicating effectively. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what, negative attention is still attention. Negative communication is still communication. Arguments is communication. A dog barking at you, he's communicating. You know what I'm saying? You know, so effective communication is what we should be striving for.
And so, in your next relationship, are you hoping to get like with kids? Done having kids? You want more kids? Done having kids?
Say it again.
Want more kids? Done having kids? Dating somebody with kids? No kids.
So I'm over 30. You know what I'm saying? And my microphone don't work the same. But you know, I'm just in a place where I'm open, man. Like I'm at a place now where it's like, yo, less of me, more of God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever. Like, this is the thing, right? Are you perfect? Paul, here we go. Now we finna learn, right? Because everybody says they're not perfect, right? And if I ask the comments, a lot of them probably say that they're not perfect as well. But watch. The Bible says in the book of James, when your faith is fully invested in God, you'll be made perfect, complete, and needing nothing. The word perfect is in the Bible in every translation. You see what I'm saying? And so I have kids. I would never allow my sons to say they're not perfect. They might not be perfect for you, may not be perfect for the world, but for their father, they're perfect. You see what I'm saying? And so if we understand that, how dare you tell your heavenly Father that you're not perfect? He created you. You was created in a perfect image. So by telling me you're not perfect, you tell me that you made mistakes. That's not true. If you are a sinner, which means that you sinned and you did all kind of stuff and all these flaws and stuff that made you perfect, that made you imperfect, there's a reason why you're not. Jesus already died for those, so you're still perfect. You see what I'm saying? And so I say that to say, if you're perfect, complete, needing nothing, because my faith is absolutely invested in God, I don't need nothing. I have God's love and self-love. That's all I need. So everything else is an addition. Everything else is a bonus. You know what I'm saying? So do I need more kids? No. If God bless me more kids, that's a blessing. Do I need a wife? No. A wife is a blessing. He that finds a wife finds a good thing, receive favor from the Lord. Not something miraculous happens when we get married, but you are the favor. because the logic that you bring into my life, the way you help me mentally, your strengths to my weaknesses, like that's all favor. That's all a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So no, I just want more of him. And that's the problem. We gotta stop trying to love people out here. See it? So if you, to answer your question, when it comes to me and my every life, don't try to love me. You can't love me. The best thing I can do for you is tell you to love God. The best thing I can do for you is put your attention on God. Take your attention off of me. You can't love me. You serve a God that wants all of it. So you can't love God 90% and love me 10. No. Love him 100. Because if you love yourself and love God, loving me is going to be easy for you. That's going to take care of itself. Because the Bible says two whole people got to be together. All you need is self-love and God's love. You're not taking away from God when you love yourself because you're one with God. You see what I'm saying? All you need is God love and self-love. So I'm looking for a woman that has God love and self-love. We come together and we share love by sharing God together because God is love. So what's the solution? Sid, just like me. I want you to like me a lot. Like me. So I challenge you to tell a guy, look, man, don't worry about that love stuff. Love God. You know what I'm saying? Like me. People cheat on the people that they love every day with the person that they like. Like me. You know what I'm saying? Because when you like me, that you want to spend time with me. You know what I'm saying? You like being around me. Food tastes better. Time is better. We enjoy things together. You know what I'm saying? But when you love me,
together. Exactly.
yeah, when you love me, you want to argue with me. You want to yell at me. You know what I'm saying? When you get mad, you see red. Because love is not an action word. You know what I'm saying? Love is a choice. Why? Because God gave us the capacity to love. If I tell myself that I love you and tell myself that consistently enough, I'm going to believe that because the body follows the mind. Because you don't love until you decide to, right? You can date a guy today and he can say, I love you. You decide not to tell him, right? When do you love him? When you decide to tell him. You know what I'm saying? That's why people don't fall in love at the same time. You feel me? That's why somebody love more than the other. But like is the action word. That's why you got people and you got women that are in relationships that are in battered relationships, stuff like that stay. Why? Because he loved me. Because why? Because he told you he loved you. His actions don't show that he loved you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But watch. If I met you today and I said, Sid, I like you, but then I don't call you, I don't text you, I don't say good morning, I don't tell you, what you gonna tell me? You don't like me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because like takes, so just like me. Don't like me. So I'm gonna tell you, like me, love him. Because again, we have the capacity to love. He said, I gave you the spirit of love. We don't want strangers. I don't want somebody in this restaurant to die in front of me. That's love. I have the capacity to love. And whoever hurt you the most, Sid, if you've been hurt by a guy in your relationship, that guy, you still don't want no hurt, harm, or danger to come to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's love. Don't worry about love. Worry about somebody that you can like, because I'm gonna tell y'all something. Life is gonna happen, Sid. We're gonna have disagreements. We're gonna have arguments. We're gonna have financial problems and stuff like that. We need something to fall back on. But when you really like somebody, you can't be mad at them.
Right.
You can't. You can't argue. You can't argue with that face.
Everything's funny.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Everything's funny.
get on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we don't have in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So and from a woman's standpoint, this is to sum that up real quick. And God has put it on my heart to tell y'all. All y'all are talking about being submissive, right? Fix your face. Listen, you can't submit to a man. You submit to the God in him. So if there's no God in him, there's nothing for you to submit to. If he don't pray to God before you, he's not gonna pray to God with you. If he's not gonna pray to God for you, he ain't gonna pray to God to keep you. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm not here to love you, sir. I'm here to love the God in you. So I say that to say the reason why relationships are so bad is because of y'all women. It's your fault. For one, you're compromising yourself. For one, you compromise yourself all the time. Two, we're validating men before their time. I despise when women come into my stream and say, hey king, hey king, hey king. I'm no king. I'm a prince. I'm a son of a king. What have I did yet? Because for one, you're a queen because it's your birthright. You're born that way. You are born a wife. You are already a wife. The Bible didn't say he that finds a fiance, he that finds a girlfriend, he that finds a wife. And Proverbs 12:4 says a wife is a crown for her husband. No crown, no king. So, which means I need you, Sid, to be a king. So why? So if we already validating these men, that's the reason why they treat y'all the way they treat y'all. Because for one, if women had what I'm telling you now, and you stood on that, our behavior would be different. Because then it would be a requirement. It's not a requirement out here. Because see, let me tell you the secret. The no's don't get to us, babe. It's the yeses. Because you might say, I'm a woman of God. I'm not tolerating that. She might say, I'm not tolerating that. But guess what? She with it. She with it. She with it. So now my behavior is enabled. Mm-hmm. So why men act the way they act? Look in the mirror.
Saying yes.
So what advice would I tell a woman? Listen, if we had less women out here willing to tolerate, the show is over. The show is over, right? If we had less women out here willing to tolerate the bullshit, our behavior would change. In my situation, I met my ex-wife. Now, granted, I didn't have all the knowledge that I have now because I had to go back to God. I had to learn. But I will say this. And my ex-wife, I met this woman and she was unreal. My ex-wife is played a major part in who I am today. When I met her, she said, listen, I'm not cooking for you. I'm not coming over your house. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand that. But I will tell you, she was a little overboard, but it was more so my fault for not thinking about me and make sure that I got what I needed as well. That's the only difference. If I'd have put myself into it and what I deserved, we wouldn't have never did nothing. But I just conformed to what she wanted, and I made that happen for her. But guess what? The first woman that really said what she said and meant that, I married her. She challenged me mentally. No sex. No, the first woman that the very first said, listen, I mean this, man. The very first woman that said what she said and meant it, I married her. Now, granted, the only difference is she was true to herself. I wasn't true to me. Because I'm like, damn, this woman is so amazing. This woman is this woman is that. Wow, let me just make it happen. And so I picked her. Instead of understanding that, yo, she's supposed to stand on that. But guess what? So she was whole. I just wasn't whole. That's the biggest difference. You know what I'm saying? But the very first woman that stood on what she stood on, I married her. I bought a house, put it in a house, put it in a car, boom, 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 and all this stuff, right? So when it hit the fan, I was miserable. I was miserable for the simple, and she wasn't, but I was miserable for the simple fact that I was a bird, she was a fish. And I was trying to make all this happen. We wasn't compatible at all. And so after I decided to leave, because I left my marriage, right? I got down on my hands and knees. See, I kid you not. And this is me being transparent with y'all. Because we go through what we go through so other people don't have to. I got on my hands and knees. I did everything to God except cuss. I said, God, what is the problem? I'm miserable. I waited to have sex. I bought a house. And my little brother is right here. My little brother could test you and tell you everything I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? I said, God, he just got married. And I told him the same thing. I said, God, I bought a house. Like I prepared a table for her. Like I didn't have sex. And God said, come on, son, keep telling me about what you did.
Right.
And I said, ooh. So then I fell to my face, but it's okay to fall to your face because after my marriage, I gave her everything. House, cars, I left with nothing. And I was on my face. But it's okay because when you fall on your face, y'all, in order to get up, you got to come to your knees. Mm-hmm. Buy my book.
Tell me what it's called.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, y'all. Like I heard his voice the way I can hear yours. He said, come on, son. Because listen, he don't, listen, I'm telling y'all something about God. You need him, he don't need you. Secret. You know what I'm saying? Secret, right? He don't care if you get mad. He don't care if you yell. He don't care about that because he knows eventually you gonna need him. You know what I'm saying? And so he literally told me, come on, son, keep telling me about what you did. Because what I did was, I said, God, I found a woman, now I'm blessed. And he said, no, I can only bless what I had hand in doing. Because granted, just like this restaurant, we ordered a lot of drinks and food, and then guess what? We ordered all this stuff, right? I had alligator, I had red beans and rice. I ordered all this stuff, I had to pay for it. So in my relationship, if I allow God to order my steps, I also allow God to pay for it. Can we pass the late round now?
Listen, I was like, is that in your book too? Tell the people what the name of the book is. Go ahead.
Hey, Dimples, put my website. Queen, take care of my secretary in here. But man, listen, man, I didn't know that your show was gonna consist of this, but when I heard you, I said, man, listen, let me get it right, because my purpose on this app is to empower y'all, man. Let me tell y'all something. This is something I want. Like, this is gonna be the last thing I say, because I feel like I'm on a podium or something. So if I can have all women like write this down. This is the way. This is my thing. My life, and it's coming from a man. My life changed when I aspired to have a daughter. So this is my desire. I want you ladies to make this your requirement when it comes to men, because I don't understand how women deal with men and let men treat them and talk to men kind of way, but they also have daughters that they are wonderful to. You know what I'm saying? So for me, as a man, I try my best not to be the type of man that I would have to warn my daughter about. You see what I'm saying? I could never see myself telling my daughter, like, yo, don't deal with a man like your father. That makes no sense. But also, I try my best to to pursue the type of woman that I wouldn't mind my daughter growing up and be. That's the biggest thing. So, ladies, write that down. Don't tolerate or involve yourself in a man that you wouldn't want your son to grow up and be. Right?
You want your daughter to grow up and be.
Right. If you want, like, the man, because guess what? Because y'all could give y'all daughter the best advice. If it's not good for your daughter, it's not good for you. So if this man that you talking to, if this man that you involving yourself with, if you want that man to subconsciously, in some crazy situation, if you want your daughter to bring that nigga home, mama, what you doing? And I say that from a healthy place, and my brother could tell you, my mama would have did herself a service if she'd have left my dad a long time ago. My mother would have did herself a service if she'd have left my father a long time ago. And I got a baby sister. If my dad ain't good for my motherfucking daughter, why he good for you? Facts. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, ladies, if you got kids, I'm a child that grew up like that. Mama, I don't care how hard you try, ladies. Mama, we see it. Because when you hurt, we hurt. Believe that.
I tell parents that all the time in my classroom. They're like, you can tell them to stay together for the kids, and the kids always say, "I want to break up."
I promise you that, because I gotta go party. My little brother ready to party. We on the road. But listen, I'm gonna say this last thing. Listen, for one, understand this. I'm good. No, we good. All right, listen. I'm gonna understand this. All right, listen, ladies. Let me get an ear, ladies. I need an ear. I need an ear in the comments, ladies. I need an ear, ladies. And my people can leave, but they already know this. But listen, let me tell y'all something. This is reason why you shouldn't feel bad about what you've been through. You just gotta make better decisions now. Anatomy time, right? Symbolically, you was created from a rib, right? Now, if you think about a rib cage with a rib missing, that's a sense of incompletion. So that tells you right now that that nigga needs you to complete him. Any man that say he don't need a woman to complete him, he's not a man yet. Leave him alone. Run quickly, right? But understand this: a rib. If if I pull out my third rib, and like just got it snatched out, we got to understand that the rib is the only bone in the human body that will. Number three, she caught that. The Holy Trinity. Yep. The Father, Son, Holy Ghost. She caught that. I love it. Okay, noodles. But listen, if I pull out my rib, understand the rib, look it up. I dare you. Challenge it. The rib is the only bone in the human body that will fully regenerate by itself. By itself. You know what I'm saying? So ladies, that's why you are so relentless and so strong. But because of that, that does not mean that you got to tolerate and go through the fuck you go through. Because guess what? You ain't have to go through what you went through to learn a little less that you learned. Because look at yourself. Ask yourself, is this something that God wanted for me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Is this the type of love that God has for me? Absolutely not. So when you're going stuff, when you're dealing with stuff, ask yourself, like, yo, for real, is God doing this? No. It's just, if God ain't doing it, you doing it. Because guess what? God only blessing obedience. And so if you're not being obedient to what his word is, which means seek his will and everything that you do, if you're not doing that, then you're being disobedient. So he's not making that happen to you. He's just not stopping it because he's allowing it. Because guess what? You making a mess out of this stuff. But it's okay, because that mess he's going to use for a message. And I'm out of here, y'all. But yo, just anything you need, just let me know. I'll be here. Bro, you ready to party, bro? I love y'all.
Go Falcons. Oh man, that was excellent. So you guys, we had this extended version of Changing Hearts with Sid. I have to change my profile picture really quickly so that I don't get in trouble because we got a whole meeting next week and all of that. But how'd y'all like this show? Who wants to box up and talk about it? I'm here. I'm in here. Wait, hold on. Since I forgot how to change my picture. Here we go. Photos. Let's do the fun one. Make my profile. Let's go. And my do not disturb just cut off. Boom. Hi. And we back. Okay, somebody leave and come back and tell me if my picture changed. I have no idea. Right? Oh, first of all, thank you, Nate. I'm over here like confirmation. But I'll tell you about that later. That's all I heard the whole time. I say, go ahead. I hear you. I hear you, Lord. I hear you. 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 Man, oh man. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put this date box up. Y'all come talk to me. I need y'all to talk to me. Thank you. Hey, Dimples. Evie, I hope I didn't make you miss your 10 o'clock. I know you got a whole app schedule you be following. Oh, you could done.